over to Matt Pitzer and Matt Bond, whom we will, I guess, start referring to by their last names.
Yeah, for sure. So we've seen both of these guys on camera already.
Yep.
Matthew Bond playing Bantam midrange, and Matthew Pitzer with the Black Market deck that has stolen the hearts of everybody here in Denver.
We have 2 Mimic Vats on the field.
Dueling Mimic Vats, yet again.
And Phantasmal Image is a pretty funny one, so it's very, very truly a dueling Mimic Vat. I think the guy with Restoration Angel's making out better here, though.
Yeah, I like the Angel on the Mimic Vat. It looks like he's got a Ratchet Bomb in play and a Wellspring. Does that look right to you? Does that look like a Ratchet Bomb to you?
Yep.
And a Vampire Nighthawk.
Could be another Wellspring. I think it could even be. No, that's a Trading Post. That has 4
a lot of lines on
taps
it. Yeah,
on it.
it's a Trading Post.
Trading
You're
post.
right. I was looking at the artwork. We saw just a bare corner of it, but
just glancing at the game, it really looks kind of like Matt's to lose. He has a Post. He has a Mimic Vat. He has a Nighthawk.
Which Matt?
Has nothing.
You mean Pitzer?
Yes, Pitzer.
Okay.
Man, I even said I wasn't going to do it. And then immediately do it. Oh, Phantasmal Image is going to copy a Worm Coil Engine, probably. That's my guess.
Yeah, seems.
And we're going to block.
Seems
and
right.
then Restoration Angel or Worm Coil, or whatever we block with, like, probably. I mean, you could just let it die and give your opponent a bunch of tokens, but I don't really like that plan very much.
No, I don't like that either.
Or we could just take it. That is also a reasonable play. Image copied Nighthawk.
Oh, okay. And did he use the Gavany Township to put a? Is that what that counter was?
I assume. Yep, got him for 3. That's curious. I feel like we want to do the Worm Coil there just because it's like more, quote damage unquote.
Yeah, much higher impact.
We're talking about doing some stuff after some stuff, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. There's something about the Mimic Vat.
Oh, he's taking... What? Oh, he sacrificed Worm Coil Engine and put it under Mimic Vat. Okay.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
That wasn't super clear from their tapping motions, but yeah. The Trading Post is a little hard to see when it taps, but okay. That's pretty good. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't quite catch the sacrifice part. So, sacrifice puts in 2 tokens, Worm Coil under the Mimic Vat, and jeez.
These tokens are the work of our altruist for the weekend, Eric Clark, who has a lot of tokens, and they're actually really sweet. I would highly advise anyone who's interested in some looking tokens to check them out. They're like laminated. They're all sort of semi-punk cartoony looking, and
I will check those out on my break because it's hard to tell what I'm looking at there, like from far away.
The bright one's a light worm, and the dark one's a death worm.
I figured that much. I mean, as far as the artwork, it's hard to discern. It looks to me like somebody used whiteout and scribbled, like from far away. I don't mean it.
Sure.
I'm just saying from the tiny image that I can see, it's hard to determine what I'm looking at.
We're gonna go ahead and Phantasmal Image something. It looks here. It looks like we're blocking and Gavany Townshipping. I imagine a Nighthawk is. Oh, we're not blocking. Okay, we just took our 3 and made a Nighthawk. Okay. So
Nighthawk gets in for 3 here.
Bond is kind of sniping in for some small hits here, but small hits are not how you overcome the Trading Post.
Yeah, I mean, not only is Trading Post live, but Mimic Vat with a Worm Coil Engine just seems so sick.
Yeah, I don't see any of this going anywhere good.
So here he goes, puts a Worm Coil into play off of the Mimic Vat. Both players making good use of the at end of turn
clauses.
Yeah, exactly. Like, use it right after my at end of turn so I can keep my guy around for an attack step here.
And Matt's going to put Matt on the defensive at this point.
Yes. Pitzer attacking Bond with Worm Coil, Death Touch Worm, Vampire Nighthawk.
So it looks like Bond tried to block, I assume by making a Worm Coil of his own, and Pitzer decided to sacrifice that Worm Coil to gain a life, so that Bond couldn't gain any, dealing 5. And at this point, we're just going to probably complete this cycle a couple more times.
Yeah, and eventually Bond is going to be out of life.
Cry Uncle, I imagine.
Yeah.
Or did we...
So
It looks like there is some kind of confusion.
What do you...
Well, I assume that these tokens were made after Worm Coil Engine already was blocked, but they're still talking about what happened.
Or did he sack? Yeah, okay, that's my
now
okay.
He's like, all right,
you're
my
right.
guy's not going to do anything.
I see a Phyrexian core tap. That's what's confusing to me. So
oh no,
something
what?
was sacrificed.
Yeah, he definitely turned a Worm Coil Engine token into tokens.
Yeah.
But it looks like he was allowed to block the Worm Coil. He chose to block the Death Worm Coil token rather than try and block the actual Worm Coil Engine, I guess.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird.
Oh no. I understand. It's really hard to tell because there's so many things he could copy, but he mimicked batted for Phantasmalage, and in response, Pitzer destroyed his Worm Coil Engine to keep his opponent from getting a Worm Coil Engine.
That makes a lot more sense, okay.
And then, but that wasn't really necessary because he could just sacrifice whatever got blocked. So I don't agree with that line. He could have he's sacking his Worm Coil Engine anyway, but he gave up damage during combat, basically.
Yeah.
So he gave away a bunch of life for no real reason, when he can just sacrifice whatever gets blocked and it costs him the same resources.
Mimic Vat is like running. It's like all the Mimic Vats just kind of somehow fell into Denver's lap, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I got to play this."
It's a popular card.
Mandatory here in Denver or something. I don't think I'd seen it on camera in I don't know how many months, and before that, how many months before that, one random showing. But we've seen dueling Mimic Vats multiple times today. Well, Blade Splicer and a Golem for Matthew Bond, finally able to add something else to the board beyond
a real
Phantasmal
concern
images.
For Matt Pitzer is closing this game out in a timely fashion because he is down a game, so he needs to speed it up. He has to win a third one if he's going to take this match. I don't think there's any doubt that this match is going to go to a third game, so there's not like a lot of motivation to slow things down on either player's side. Like each of them would like to play a third game they can win. He's copying a Blade Splicer. So Bond has finally found a way to start making headway on the board rather than just, block and not die.
Yeah, this is so gummed up with the Mimic Vats, and especially when one of them represents anything. It's a Phantasmal image. It could actually be anything. Whatever the best creature on the board is to copy.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that Mimic Vat is still imprinted with a Phantasmal image, even though he's kind of moved it out to represent Blade Splicer.
It's representing the token, I think.
But I'm not sure when he created his Blade Splicer, so we're not sure when that guy's going to die. It's a difficult board to commentate, man.
It really is.
What people are saying, what they're doing, especially like so many clones, so many different ways to sacrifice something, and a lot of tricks. Trading Post is being activated. I got that much.
All right, yeah.
And we're gonna tap our Pristine Talisman to do it. No, we're gonna tap our Swamp. All right.
No, wait.
No, maybe. Matt's struggling under a first world problem here.
So he can probably untap the Trading Post here.
We should probably.
In response to my activation of Trading Post for no mana, I'm going to attack. So, all right, here comes the Horde of Tokens.
Looks like Matt's just going to let that happen.
That's 12, right?
It's interesting.
And Pitzer will go up to
blocking?
19.
Okay.
No, is he blocking or is he
not?
not?
He blocked 2. He wasn't very.
Okay.
They weren't very clear about it. But yeah, he blocked the life linkers. I anticipate Pitzer wrathing this board position if this was his play. Because he didn't do anything to make those blocks less efficient. He's going to play a Solemn Simulacrum. I mean, it is possible he's just in a position where he doesn't have a lot of good things to do, as crazy as that seems.
Yeah, I don't know what's in his hand, but wrathing would certainly. I mean, I'd even prefer. I'd like him to Wrath and also deal with both Mimic Vats so he can clean this thing up.
The issue is it's just like the board is stagnating. He's not getting anywhere now that the golems are there, and Bond can't get anywhere. So I would Wrath here.
Here's a Mutilate.
Yeah, we're casting it. So playing the Solemn first was just us gaining some value, which is fine.
And Mutilate resolves, I believe.
I don't anticipate any
All right.
replies, yeah. Now, if this was our play, don't you like just mutilating and then making a Wormcoil Engine and
I was thinking that too, yeah. Like
that
you
seems
could
way better.
have just got in for 6.
We got in for 8 and gained 2 life, but I think I'd rather get in for 6 and gain 6 life. Or I choosing such things. And again, maybe Pitzer's really shifted gears and that 2 extra damage matters a lot to him now. I'm sure he knows, like, this is a do-or-die situation. No, we gotta kill this guy quick.
It's 16 minutes left in the round.
We've been playing a game that we won for like 10 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
There's a Hero of Blade Hold for Matthew Bond, and
yeah, we're not concerned about that card.
Pitzer's
One of our many removal spells. Yep.
Gonna Doomblade it.
He's deciding if he wants to put that on the Mimic Vat. I agree with his decision not to.
Yeah, I'll stick with the Wormcoil. A lot more synergy with the rest of the deck, and just a lot of value to keeping the Wormcoil on there. I agree with his decision to consider it, though. So Solemn Simulacrum again from Pitzer.
One of the lesser-known members of the Golem tribe.
Yeah. Well, he's well known. That's just not known that he's a golem. Yeah.
Keeps that association under wraps. He and Blightsteel Colossus, 2 cards people playing this weekend that
I didn't know you were a golem.
It's a golem.
So I was thinking about it, and you know how like Wizards likes to they kind of want to do away with the term affinity and call the artifact deck robots.
Yep.
I think it makes a lot more sense to call it golems, because there's really no robots in Magic, are there? I mean, there's a lot of like automatons and
paging Mistform Ultimus.
if we're gonna go ahead and call it, keep it with like the Magic kind of flavor, wouldn't it make a lot more sense to call the deck golems?
Oh, man.
I guess maybe that's a little confusing too. So
Pitzer is building the slowest board position here.
yeah, I mean, it's 14 minutes left, and we've succeeded to find 2 lands out of our deck and add some 2/2s to the board. Mimic Vat. Gonna copy, I guess, Simulacrum, considering there's nothing else available. Search for a land. And untap.
Bond's gonna attack. I assume Pitzer won't block. Maybe he will and sacrifice the Solemn to keep Bond from drawing a card. Kind of depends on what he wants to do.
Yeah.
I would prefer making a Wormcoil Engine and sacrificing that probably to just start getting a token army going, but really any of these plays are acceptable.
Well, he's gonna go ahead and do what you said the first time. Sacrifice the golem.
He returned Solemn Simulacrum?
Yeah, he sacrificed it and returned itself.
Can you do that? Don't you have to announce a target?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm pretty sure that you have to target the card.
I mean, unless he just has another one in there and was like...
Maybe, but maybe he like just said, like, I have another one and I'm getting this one. That could be reasonable, because we do know he has another one. So that could have just been a shortcut. It's basically the same as reordering your graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptable shortcut if so.
No way to determine for sure.
The game state that was achieved was a legal one, even if it looked like it was odd, so...
There are so many permanents on the board right now. Mostly lands, lucky for us, but Worm Coil Engine comes in. That's a copy of a Worm Coil Engine.
And in response to image being created, we're going to now sacrifice our Worm Coil. This is why I would have liked to sacrifice it during the end step. Bond just wouldn't have this option. He'd have to make the token or whatever. We'd have our guy untapped. Like, what are we getting back? Oh, we trading posted to get back a Solemn. Okay. We're on the full grinded out plan here from here, I guess. Man, if you told me that this game was still going to be going at this point when we tuned into it, I'd have been very surprised.
When did we start watching this game? Wasn't it at least 20 minutes left?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like 24.
Yeah,
I believe. Maybe only 20. Like definitely no lower than 20. I know I saw 20 on the clock, so it's real concerning.
So, if you're just joining us, we've got a heck of a board state for you. 2 Solemn Simulacrums, a lifelink worm, a death touch worm, a Mimic Vat with a Worm Coil Engine on it, a trading post, about 16 lands, and that's all on Pitzer's side. Matthew Bond has about 14 lands, and a Mimic Vat with a Phantasmal Image on it, which was activated to copy something.
Man, just catch something? Yep. This is a funny situation because that Pristine Talisman is definitely not worth 6 mana on this board.
Yeah.
He has so many things he can do with his lands. He does not want to pay 3 mana to resolve that spell. 3 mana? That's a Worm Coil Engine.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I don't care about this Pristine Talisman. Watch him like lose the game at 1 life or something. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know, not lose the game at 1 life, but like lose the game with Matthew, like very low, like where he could have just had, you know. I guess what I mean is watch Bond attack for like exactsies the turn that Pitzer would have won. The turn
We're making a Worm Coil. Are we going to stack it during the end step, or are we not?
So Thrag Tusk from Bond.
Admittedly, the Thragtusk changes the board a little bit because Gavany Township can make it into a 6/4, and also if it dies, it going onto the Mimic Vat could get real weird. I believe he has a Nile Spellbomb now, which is an excellent weapon against Mimic Vat.
Thrag Tusk on a Mimic Vat is a nightmare.
We're just going to use it now. That's interesting. I would probably have used it the next time a creature died.
Yeah, I would have not. I would not want the Thrag Tusk on a Mimic Vat.
I'm not sure if it's better than the image or not, but there's no real need to give your opponent the option when you're definitely killing that Thrag Tusk this turn anyway.
Well, I mean, every time you make one, it represents a beast and 5 life.
Sure, but Pitzer is eclipsing it with his development. He's making more creatures than that each cycle. So, like, he will beat a Thrag Tusk on a Mimic Vat, but it will prolong the game.
Yeah.
Which is really the big problem.
9 minutes left in the round between Pitzer and Bond here.
Yeah, at this point, I may have spoken too soon, and it might just be possible that Bond manages to win this one 1-0-1. Go for the throw on Thragtusk, gets Vapor Snagged. Note that Pitzer waited until the Mimic Vat was activated to prevent his opponent from getting the option of creating extra Thragtusks. Thragtusk also a little different from Worm Coil Engine in that it will make you a beast even if Mimic Vat sends it off the field.
Yeah. It's a pretty significant difference, especially for Matthew Bond, who doesn't have a real easy way who wouldn't have a real easy way to sacrifice a Worm Coil Engine the way Pitzer does.
Right.
You know, like if Bond had the Worm Coil Engine on his Mimic Vat.
A team of constantly growing beast tokens would definitely give Bond the possibility of prolonging this, but it looks like Pitzer's seized a little bit too much of an edge now. If we'd held our Nihil Spellbomb, I would have felt a lot safer about what was going on. But as it is, it's probably fine anyway. It looks like those beasts died, but the tokens they blocked didn't. I'm not really sure. Or did they? There's so many tokens. They may have shortcutted past some extra tokens dying and just replace them with living ones.
Yeah, this is really kind of crazy because there are so many shortcuts happening.
Yeah.
It's really hard to figure out what, and there's a lot of tokens being used, tokens that don't even have some tokens don't even have ways to represent them. You know what I mean? Like, how do you make a phantasmal image token?
Yeah.
You know, there isn't one. So we were just using random card sleeves like from somebody's sideboard, and it's like, oh wait, what is that? It's a copy of an image, which is what? Just copying what? And very confusing. And now I'm glad that Mimic Vat is rotating.
Well, it looks like Pitzer has made a Wormcoil Engine token during his turn, and now he's letting the Wormcoil go to the graveyard, and he's going to sacrifice his Wormcoil Engine, or no, his opponent's stealing the Solemn Simulacrum to keep him from getting rid of the Wormcoil Engine. Alright, this is a little canny.
What is that?
I actually have no idea. Can we zoom in on that real quick?
Is it naturalized?
That is a naturalize, okay. I am unfamiliar with that particular...
Yeah, it's foil, and it's hard to
Is
exactly
it just like
see
a
what the
normal
artwork is.
looking one?
It might
Yeah,
just
like-
be normal and just be weird looking because it's foil.
That's fair. It looked a little bit like the Absence Pilgrim promo, which confused me. So I guess this was done in response to a naturalize then, which I was wondering how that card hit the bin. Yep, okay, that is a new art I am unfamiliar with. It's, or I should say, an art I am unfamiliar with. Clearly not new. It looks like it's shards or something. So Mimic Vat has been destroyed. That explains why we did what we did. And it was during the end step, so he's going to have that Wormcoil token on his turn. Or on Bond's turn, I should say. And he'll be Phyrexia's coring it away soon, I imagine. I like Bond's choice to try and keep Wormcoil Engine under the Mimic Vat because it will remain exiled once the naturalize resolves.
Right.
Which is incredibly important when facing a Buried Ruin. Looks like we've got a little bit of confusion about Thragtusk. Yeah, I think that might... Man, this is so tight, but I think Bond might be in the position where now he's going to just win this game 101.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
He's actually got two
Pitzer-
ways to win this match. You know, he can try to win, or more likely stall out a little bit and just gum things up and win 101.
I don't think there's like a universe in which Pitzer loses this game going super long, as long as he doesn't make any like large mistakes. But I may not get to play it. I don't suppose anyone's gonna deck.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it is getting pretty late in the game, and they have been using Solemn Simulacrums a lot, yeah.
We're making some more worms.
Making some tokens.
Oh, look at that fine looking worm token there.
Yeah, I like those.
We're gonna Buried Ruin our Mimic Vat back. And our goal in doing this is going to be probably to try and get that Thragtusk. So we probably have another removal spell in our hand, and we'll cast it on our opponent's turn in order to try and get the Thragtusk. And that should lock Bond out, theoretically.
Cleaning things up here, doing a little bit of organizing. I know I have a non-land in this
I
pile.
don't know if he can actually get him in time. Oh, Grave Titan. Maybe. If we've got that Grave Titan, we might have a shot. That guy's big.
There's an Isle Spellbomb.
Yep. Cracking it immediately. Alright, those are gone.
He draws off Spellbomb. And taps 3.
Mimic Vat.
Mimic Vat number 2.
Interestingly, I think I like holding the Nile Spellbomb here again.
For the Thragtusk?
Just to get... That would let us attack this turn without being afraid of the Thragtusk blocking something and surviving. Or, I should say, blocking something and dying. Because surviving would be fine.
Yeah.
We don't mind if it stays on the board.
The problem is when it dies, yeah.
It's very funny because Pitzer definitely doesn't mind being in the Abyss, but he's not super excited about trading.
Yeah.
Grave Titan making some more Eric Clar zombies. Looks like we're just going to be keeping count on that die.
Yeah, so 2 zombies there.
And yeah, as predicted, Pitzer has passed the turn to try and get the Thragtusk when it can't be Mimic Vatted, but he's in such a tight time position, it's real questionable if he can actually pull it off. Man, I feel like I'm harping on it, but like it's just, like we're so far ahead 20 minutes ago.
Right, like what, it seemed
we're
like
exactly
you were so far
the same
ahead.
amount of far ahead. Our opponent is just playing to prolong the game. We're going to use the token to keep that solemn there for clarity's sake. You know, kudos to Bond, who definitely saw that, like, he had an opening to win this match a slightly unconventional way.
Right.
And he didn't do it with slow play.
Right, he continues to play.
He's just playing to prolong the game.
Right, he's playing defense. Oh, and there's a Day of Judgment.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, we have our Mimic Bat, so we'll get the Thragtusk.
Who's we? Pitzer?
Yeah. Team Trading Post is going to get Thragtusk under their Mimic Bat. But this is going to be catastrophe.
Or does he want the Grave Titan? It looks like he put a Grave Titan
He may
under.
get the Grave Titan instead. The problem is he has the option first, so whichever one he leaves is the one Bond's going to get. See, if we had that Nile Spellbomb in play, we could just get the Grave Titan, Nile Spellbomb the Thragtusk. We're all good. No worries. It's possible he hadn't seen a Day of Judgment from Bond, and maybe he just didn't know it was in his opponent's deck. But if so, that's a very awkward spot to learn it in.
Yeah, here's the thing. All right, so those creatures are dying at the same time.
Yeah.
But all of those creatures, and so only the non-token ones are triggering the Mimic Bat. So it's Grave Titan and Thragtusk, right?
And 2 Solemn Simulacrums.
Okay, whatever. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is it's Bond's turn. Does he choose his target, and then Pitzer could choose the same
there
target,
isn't a target,
right?
What actually happens is, like, we have 8 creatures, or we have 4 creatures dying, which generates 8 triggers.
Okay.
So all of Bond's go on the stack, and then all of Pitzer's go on the stack. So he literally gets to pick which creature he wants before any of the others.
Okay.
And actually, I believe with the way Mimic Bat is worded, you have to put the creature back after you imprint it correctly. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Otherwise, you could just remove everything and leave your opponent with nothing. But I'm pretty sure you have to throw the creature back in the graveyard.
Yeah, you do. You're right.
Okay. So he went with the Grave Titan, and interestingly, Bond did not go with the Thragtusk. Or did we miss?
No, he didn't go with the Thragtusk.
Oh, we're getting from Shoebox, our director / judge. Apparently, if you Mimic Vat the creature and then, like, unmimic Vat it, your opponent won't be able to Mimic Vat it because it's a new object according to the game. That is actually a trick I was not aware of. So kudos to Shoebox. You learned me. You learned me good.
So Pitzer figured that out? Pitzer did that?
Was aware of that interaction, apparently, and that is what happened. And now that gives him a shot here.
That's a real tricky interaction.
Yep. It's awkward because we only get that Grave Titan for
Are we in turns
here.
now? We're going to find out. The timer's down to 0.
Yeah,
could
timer's
be
at 0.
Slightly off. There's a possibility.
But we have Bond pretty much in the best position we've had him in the whole time.
Yeah.
But he's been pretty far behind the whole time, so if he sneaks his way out. Man, what a crazy board state.
It's been a long time since I've seen a board state this gummed up.
Wow, I am actually, like, pretty impressed with that Mimic Vat interaction.
Yeah, me too. What's that? So he exiled the Thragtusk and then chose something else. So it's like he just chooses each one as his Mimic Vat, but then since the next trigger hits, he says, all right, I want that one. So now it's a new object and Bond can't grab it. His Mimic Vat is targeting completely different objects.
Yep.
That is very, very tricky. I love it.
Well, it looks like Grave Titan may be able to mop this one up in time. We can even double Grave Titan this turn.
Well, this is turn 1, okay.
This is turn 1. That means Pitzer should be able to clean this up.
Wait, so what is it? Bond was turn 1, Pitzer's turn 2.
All right, so Pitzer gets 2 attacks, makes it slightly closer, but I think he's still good. Mindslaver, okay, this one's over, boys and girls.
Should be.
Well, we had thought Pitzer only had 2 turns in turns, but we were wrong.
Yeah,
it looks like he has all of them.
Pitzer stole one of the turns, at least one.
He's going to Mindslaver Bond, probably be able to set it up to Mindslaver him again.
And it's a draw, I guess, yeah. He just play for the draw?
I'm pretty sure that he conceded, I assume.
Well, what I'm saying is, if Pitzer wins that game, it's a draw.
Oh, yeah, the match is drawn, yes.
Yeah, so, and Pitzer I believe, clearly won that game once the Mindslaver came down.
Man, what a game. That was so weird.
Just confirmed that match was a draw.
Yeah. You know,
believe it was.
when we sat down, I was very concerned about that match becoming a draw, but I assumed it would be a result of a bogged down game state in Game 3, not the result of the bogged down game state
That
from
lasted
Game 2.
for 20 minutes. Yeah, so the 20-minute bogged down game state that we watched. And
Man.
Pitzer does end up winning the game, but the match is a draw.
I don't think those players played especially slowly. Like, they were both playing at a pretty reasonable pace.
Yeah.
But in those situations, you kind of gotta like play at an unreasonable pace. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta soup it up.